Meow. Oh.
Remember that Grover running up here?
Yeah, of course I do.
Far.
All right.
All right, you ready? Perfect. We are so. You know what? You are perfectly straight. We're just not in the middle.
I can cut it.
Just cut me completely. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
Ashley's here.
She's here.
All right. How was your week?
We'll start with yours
Oh,
because I had a lot of events this weekend.
all right. So I know I want to hear a lot of events. Let's go.
So I'm like very peopled out because
Okay.
I've given all of my battery to everybody.
Okay.
We had 4 events this weekend. So I worked Saturday, but I didn't want to count that as an event. And straight from work, I
Right.
went to Deb's house because it was Deb's birthday.
Oh yeah, yeah. How was? Did you have enough?
Cupcakes?
Yeah.
Way too many. It was a small thing, but it's fine. They could have.
Wait a minute. They have a little one at home, so too many means leftovers for a little one. So that's a win-win.
I'm sure that she could bring it into work too or something.
Yeah, no, but for a little kid, you got like 3 days of cupcakes. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah. There were a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But
That's
anyways,
the worst thing.
No, I know, but I should have asked how many people are
Yeah, that's the worst thing. When someone has a party, they say, "Oh, I'm having a party." So instantly, when you say party, you don't think of like 5 people.
Right.
You instantly go like, "There's got to be 10."
Well, I figured she said that her niece was going, and
Right.
her other niece was supposed to go, but she ended up having something else that weekend.
And you knew Jonathan was going to come.
But he didn't. He was working.
Oh, so that I'm just well. If you go with that, you go with Jonathan. You go
Right.
with Oakley, with and then you go with Deb, and you're already up to the 5, and then you're like, well, there's gonna be. You say you're going, so now you're just like, okay, go up to 10.
Yeah, I should have just made one cake. We would have been fine.
But then if you subtract 10, then you're under 10. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But that was fun, and then from there we went to my cousin's Jack and Jill shower thing, and that was like in East Guam.
Yeah.
And they had a baseball theme. So
did they do the color like baseball hit and then it blows up?
This is a wedding shower.
Oh, wedding shower. Oh, yeah, wedding shower. Sorry. No, I thought it was Jack and Jill. When you said that, I was thinking baby shower. Sorry.
And as I was saying that, I was like, I probably should say wedding shower, but the word wedding was not in my head.
Baby shower, like Jack and Jill. So more than they used to.
Yeah. So
this used to be just for women.
This was like an hour and a half. Was it an hour and a half?
You gotta talk louder.
Okay, in between there, and we were there late because of us.
Doesn't always feel like when you drive somewhere far, it's like you don't ever want to leave because you gotta
drive all the way back.
Like
you gotta make it worth it.
Right.
You gotta stay there long enough where it's not like
because then you're like because realistically you feel like you should just walk through the door, but like I'm here, I got an hour drive. I want to be home by 9 or something. Then you're like, no, okay, we'll be here till 1 because then we can be like, well, we're here from 6 to whatever, or 8 till 1, and you're like, because any other time leaving it'd be like an hour drive, hour and a half drive. I always feel like that's always adds in, and that's half the party.
Yeah,
I hate that.
So anyway, so it was baseball themed, so they had like all the baseball food and. My cousin was ordering the food, and she bought 30 pounds of uncooked tortilla chips.
Okay.
So that's like the size of this.
So I'm confused. What's uncooked tortilla chips?
So it's just like this tortilla cut.
So it's not like crispy.
You have to fry them yourself.
Oh.
So
I've never.
They live in a multifamily. Like the whole family lives in a multifamily, right. So they had all the ovens going and like different timers, and they like barely made a dent in the box. And she's like, "Okay, so we're gonna plan this summer. We're gonna have all these parties that we can have chips for." And I was like, "Good luck with that."
You live an hour and a half away. This ain't happening.
Right. Plus, like they get together a lot more than us because we live so far away. So I mean, I'm sure that
Ashley says it was an hour.
Yeah.
It's an hour drive.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you live a little closer, so it might have been a half hour for them because I live in Bristol.
We picked her up.
Actually, she's doing the same thing. She's like, "Oh, wait a minute, no, they picked me up, so they had to come to my house."
But we picked her up from Deb's and then came back this way because we had to stop back at the house.
Oh yeah, so it was a half hour extra drive.
So
I went up with them.
when we were there, like it was at this like, it's almost like the VFW in a way.
Yeah, I know something. Like, no, I get what venue in my head.
So behind it, there was like some river thing that Kelsey and Jake were looking through the window at, and they were gonna go like walk down to it. And on their way out, they saw a chipmunk. No, they saw a chipmunk that was like a baby. It didn't even have its eyes open, and it like fell from. It was like 2 level or 3 levels up. Yes, Hank. They named it Hank, and they're like trying to like touch this thing. I'm like, please leave it alone. Just leave it alone. You don't need to pick it up. Just let it be hiding over here. Like it was in between like a wall thing, and like they were googling like, can they touch it? Like they had like snow gloves.
Oh. Oh.
And then finally, like, so it was like, here's the parking lot, like right here. And then there was like this like ramp stair thing. And then like where the wall is.
Right.
And then there was like another wall here where the like street was.
Right.
So they moved it from this part of the wall to this part of the wall where he just fell from.
Right.
And I was like, what was the point of that? He was fine where he was. It was just like a whole thing.
You know, Jake's supposed to be the favorite. You're not supposed to be messing this up.
I know. But yeah, they named it Hank and all that.
I wasn't gonna say this, but I'm gonna tell you something. This is the most disturbing thing I've ever dealt with in your family ever. Are you ready for this?
We moved him to where there was grass. Yeah, he could have moved himself to where the grass was if that's what he wanted.
I didn't tell you this. So, you know how on Facebook they give you those suggestion things? Like just suggestion on pages, and you just go, why am I even looking at this, right? Okay, so I'm going to throw myself under the bus. There was this very attractive young lady on this thing, right? So I said, oh, let me click onto this, right? Let me look more. And I kept saying, there's something about this girl. And I'm going through her pictures, and I get to the video, and she's like, says a little thing, and I went, why is this so familiar to me? This is so weird. And so Shannon's like, dude, are you looking at another girl's, like one of those girls' not profile, like pages? And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Just for attention. I get it. And they want you to click onto something. I get it. But this girl's really pretty, or there's something about her. I'm like, real weird. So I'm strolling, and she's like, it's really weird that you're like,
invested.
So invested in this. She's like half your age. I mean, she looked really young. And I go, yeah, but there's something about her. Like, I feel like I know her. Or like, and she's like, we know how you think you know her. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, she is really pretty. But all of a sudden, I got to a video. Ready? Instant, like, log off. Get on. I figured out what it is.
Porn?
Nope.
What?
She did her own voice, like, video, and she made, like, a face. I went, oh my God, she looks like Sammy. I was like, oh my God. But she had black hair, but she did the same facial expression as your younger sister. And I went, okay, that's awkward. Get out of here. I was like, oh my God. She's like, wow. I was like, kept staring at it going, why is this girl, like, why do I feel like she's familiar? I mean, she was really pretty, so I'm not going to, like.
You saw the girl and you just completely
I was like, no, I was totally like, like, because at one point I was like, she is really pretty, though. I mean, she is. Like, you say, like, I'm like, oh my God. Like, now I know why I'm, like, relating to the same, like, facial expression. When makes that little smile with her eyes, and, like, you know how she, like, turns red when you tell, like, a. Well,
anything,
she used to,
when you just talk to her?
Yeah, at all. And she just turns really red, and she kind of just does. And I was like, oh my God, this is. I was like, no.
Abort. She's
like, Shannon's like, oh, I thought you were gonna like that page. I was like, nope, 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 nope. She's like, and then when I explained it, she's like, and you thought she was pretty? Like, I was like, well, Sammy's pretty, but not like that. But
yeah.
She's like, but you thought that way. I was like, no.
Until I realized it was Sammy.
The girl had, no, I mean, it doesn't look like her because she had black hair. It was a lot different. But it was a facial expression in some of the pictures. I kept feeling like
That's Sammy's profile. That's her other profile. That's what nobody can see.
The one I'm scrolling through, all the pictures are normal. Like her in like normal clothes, like out to dinner or whatever. And of course, I got to get to the one with the lingerie when Shannon's like, "What are you looking at?" I'm like, "Oh Jesus!" I swear. And I stroll back. I'm like, "Look, she's wearing normal clothes." I swear to God. I have been.
Was she making that face in the lingerie one? That would have been perfect. That would have been perfect.
No, it's the video again because she makes this like smile. She tells us.
Sammy recently dyed her hair black.
Black. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! It was so bad. It was so bad because instantly it was her telling a cheesy joke of like
Sammy does love cheese, so maybe
something about octopuses, and then there was 10. Oh, how many? No, I don't remember the joke. It was something cheesy about octopuses, and then she went tentacles like that, and I was like, oh my God! I was like, as soon as she did that, and then she went like that little smile. I was like, oh, it's Sammy! Oh no!
Oh
like,
no!
She's like my kid. No, caca, caca. I was like, no. I was like, no. Yeah.
I love when you do like caca, caca.
It is. It's caca. Oh, I was like, no. It was the instant moment where it was like I can imagine that it's like watching porn and then you realize it's your kid or something. Like
yeah.
Like, because I have this thing I do. It's women who talk to other women about their lives in porn, like how hard it is, or what stigma and like other stuff, like
how hard it is.
No, really. No, how hard it like when they go get thing they have to put profession stuff like that. It's just really interesting. I know it's still dirty. You can say whatever. It's just
don't they usually say like accountant?
No, they were like sometimes they have to say it like because they want to know the income and then so they were talking about stuff, and then I was like, they're like, oh, this woman's like, hey, I heard your father found out because he watched you, and he's like, yeah, it was real awkward. He watched porn, and he ended up being halfway through it till he realized it was me, and I was like, halfway through it? How did you start?
That's what I think about a lot.
Yeah, like
oh, like what if you see your kid on there?
Yeah, and then she goes, well, he was really supportive of me, and he was really like, and I would have been like. Yeah, but there's a moment they was like, nah.
I hope he didn't finish before.
Oh, God, I hate that. Like, that's when it goes too far.
You think it's going round 2 or?
But I was just like, oh no. And then I told Shannon, I said, oh, I'm not looking at that. Why? And I was like, because she makes facial expressions like Sammy. That's why I told you I recognized her. Because she thought it was that line. Like, oh, I think I know her. And yet, I did. And then once it was because it's her facial expression. She has green eyes where I know what she has. Blue. But it's the same facial expression. I'm like, I got to show you later. And you'd be like,
hey, Sat Maxton.
Oh.
You turned your microphone on, right?
Yeah, it's on. Okay. Don't worry. I stroked
it. Perfect.
So I was very disturbed by that. I forgot to tell you that.
Well, thank you for sharing.
I was very disturbed. It was like that moment of like, oh, yeah, she's really brown. Oh my God. Yeah, this will never be the same.
How was your week?
It's been
after
busy.
You saw Sammy. What's up, peeps?
It was good. Busy. It was a busy week. This is a week where everybody's, again, we've had those 2 days of hot, so everyone's like,
get my dog in.
Oh my gosh. It's been hard because it's all those, I only come once a year or twice a year that come in, and it's like, Mm. Yeah.
We've been getting a lot of people too.
A lot of Florida people coming up now.
Yeah.
We have like our snowbirds. Oh, returning. We have a few of them.
Yeah.
And I know this because I guess it's a huge heat wave.
Here or there?
No, there. And it needs to be too hot down there and nice and warm up here for the snowbirds to come back. Yeah. It has to be like that perfect.
What is it like down there now? 90s?
It's all I know is my friend
90s?
Keith had a back surgery, so he's practically in bed.
Poor Niles, he only comes twice a year.
Yeah, it's true.
It happens.
Twice a year. Yeah.
Comes for him twice a year. Sat. Oh my god, I had the worst fucking day yesterday.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
my first one was nails, and she gets dip. Do you know dip? If not, I will explain it.
I don't know enough.
Okay. So basically for dip, it's kind of like an acrylic. Yeah. It's kind of like an acrylic.
Yeah.
But it's different in a way.
You actually really do dip?
Yeah. So you paint your nail with like super glue. It's not, but super glue. And then you dip it into the powder, and then it makes like a layer.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
So,
but it's powder, not liquid.
Right.
Okay. No, I
the liquid is like the polish
the stuff you put on. Okay. Yeah. I have no clue. That's why I'm asking. Not to be a smart guy.
So I finished prepping my customer's nails, and I send her to the bathroom to wash her hands, and I go to open the glue.
Right.
And I can't get it open, so usually I just grab pliers and work. Right. I even keep the pliers in with the dip stuff because it gets stuck all the time.
Right.
So I go to open it, shatters in my hand.
Oh.
And like the glue is like all over my hand.
Yeah.
Well, I mean like the top part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Off. Oh, I gotcha.
So like it was still like a jar, but it was like.
Oh, so it's. I gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like a jar of nail polish.
Yeah. I gotcha. All right.
So like the brush
part.
Something
plastic. I was in my head.
No.
It's not been that good. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So there are tiny little shards. This is the one time I did not wear my apron. I don't like wearing my apron when I do nails because it gets in the way.
Right.
Because of like the little pocket thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like it pops out and then it touches your chin and you're like, what the hell? Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So usually I either just like put the top down or I just don't wear it.
Remind me, apron. I got a great story.
Okay. So I open it, it shatters in my hand. Like the glue's like all over my hand.
Ugh.
Little baby shatters on my hand, on my legs, like in the chair, and I'm like.
So you're sitting.
Yeah.
I thought you were standing. But
no, I'm sitting.
So.
I was like, oh shit, what do I do? So I like clean up the ones that are in my lab.
Obviously. And
she comes back, and I go, what do I do about the thing in my hand? Because it's just super glue all over my hand. With...
Did you just dip it?
Yeah, I haven't. You didn't see it? I should have.
It's all look, I got glue.
You can still see some of the glue on it, but so she's like, and she's like a mom to me, like one of those my client. Yes.
Okay.
So she comes over and she's like, okay, we're gonna soak the glue off because that's the only way to get it off.
Right.
And mind you, my hands don't like any of that kind of stuff because of the eczema.
Right.
So I was like. That might sting, but it's gonna have to do because otherwise glass is gonna be everywhere.
Glass and glue. So like
she's like risking her own hand.
She's risking her life. She's like, I'm there for you. I'm almost cutting one of my veins.
But she's like feeling around. She's like, okay, shard right there, and I have like, do you know what nippers are? They're like they're almost like scissors.
Yeah.
For nails,
but they're
they cut
like
the cuticles.
Okay, yep, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So I have like the nippers trying to cut it out of the glue, so that way I can toss it.
Right.
I'm like, I don't care about the glue. That is what it is.
Yeah.
But
sometimes you gotta
the glass needs to come out. Or the hell walks in. Yeah, that would have been my fucking luck.
Thanks,
we finally get it all out, and like I finish her. I'm 15 minutes late now.
Mm-hmm.
And if your day starts like that, you're finishing your day like that.
Amen to that.
Yeah. No, so every person.
And you're trying to go.
It's like a little bit more. It's more than 15. Yeah.
Right. And the more you're trying to catch up, like 3 minutes here, 4 minutes here, to make it like, 7 minutes at the end of the day or whatever instead of 15.
Right.
Somehow those 2 minutes get added on.
Right.
And then you're like,
how?
Like 2 hours, you're done. You're like, how am I 2 hours late? Like, I've been busting my ass to make up for the 3 minutes, and I'm 2 hours late instead of 15 now.
I ended up being a half an hour late.
I'm just saying, I know
for like
2 hours.
not my last person, but my second to last person.
And you're just like, what is happening?
Which, mind you, the second to last person is a new person, and we are going to talk about this fucking cunt.
Oh.
And I'm using the big C word.
Wow!
And I don't like that word, but this is what
We're
this word
British
is.
now. British people will use that like it's nothing. All right, go ahead. Let's talk about this.
So she comes in, and I think she's got to be probably in her 70s at the earliest.
Oh no, you're in trouble.
She goes. She has like your hair, like color wise.
Okay.
Thickness. And no, she's very thin hair though.
Okay. Oh no, I know.
I meant color wise.
Color wise.
Because you have a lot of gray in your hair, but you still have like a lot of dark.
Black. Yeah, I do.
She might have a little more black than you do in her hair.
Wow. Okay. No.
Right. So she's
I have a lot of black. I just have a patch of gray.
Yeah.
And then like every, I got like a little bit here, one here, one there. I don't have peppered hair.
Yeah.
I have very black, and then like a gray,
right,
gray.
Right. So when she called, she's like, "I just want some highlights, and can I do a mani-pedi that day?" And I was like, "Ooh, I guess." Like
and now I'm confused, and I'm not. When you say highlights, I think blonde.
Mm-hmm.
So she wants blonde. And
when she made the appointment, I have no idea what she looked like.
And black and gray hair. She wants blonde highlights and black, because I can't imagine highlights in my hair. No, I'm being serious. Like,
no, it ended up looking really pretty.
Okay,
but she just wanted to be brightened up because the dark was like really washing around and made it look old.
Okay.
Or the blonde like kind of like
no, it's fine.
Made her look a little bit younger. Like she looked old, but
she's already past the.
She's not.
I love those women with jet black hair and they're like more wrinkles than God. You're like, I don't think it's doing anything for you.
Her hair was natural, which thank God, because that would have. So she comes in, and I have what was 4.5 is now 4 hours because I'm a half hour late now.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm trying not to be late for my last person because the last person is a friend, and I mean, it is what it is.
Right. But you're trying. Yeah.
I'm trying to catch up because I literally went from like taking my time to like. I felt like I was running a marathon all day long, and for whatever reason, the AC was not on yesterday, and I'm just buckets of sweat.
And
then it became like the last 2 hours maybe.
Yeah.
And Karen's like, "Oh, it's like really hot in here." I'm like, "Yeah, but is it even worth putting the AC on at this rate? It's not even gonna cool down by the time we leave."
I'm swamp assing over here,
and I'm so fucking mad because I had a tank top on, and I'm like, "Oh no, it's gonna be."
Yeah.
It's gonna. Well, if the AC's on, fine.
You don't want to be too cold.
Yeah.
You don't want to be too cold.
I changed into a fucking this kind of a short sleeve. So I'm like
pure sweat.
Pretty much. I'm like, I don't have a clip for my hair. My hair's down. I'm like, oh my god. I'm not wearing sandals. I'm wearing
gloves.
So this woman comes in. And mind you, she sits down and I'm already annoyed.
I love those.
Because she's like, so I want to be really blonde. And I was like,
she's black, like, oh
yeah.
No.
And I was like, that's not what you said, though.
You said highlights. I know this pain.
I think she said a few highlights.
Yeah, I know.
Or like a partial highlight.
But I know this pain.
Right.
I know this pain.
So I was like, okay. And like, I'm showing her the book of all the colors that we have.
Right.
Just to get an idea of how blonde she wants to be.
Yeah.
This isn't what I'm going to use on your head. I'm using lightener on your head.
Right.
Like bleach on your head. Because your hair is way too dark to do any of these. Unless
Right.
you want to be one shade lighter, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And even then, it's not going to work, So she was like, okay. And then like I start going and she's like looking in the mirror and she's like, are you taking enough? Is it going to be blonde enough? I'm like, it's going to be very blonde. I'm doing like baby lights, which I don't think you know what that means. But
I don't. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Such a dude.
So baby lights are so like small. It's supposed to be like very blended.
Okay.
But there's a lot of them. So it's gonna go from
so when
like
it falls down, it's a
blonde.
lot. Right.
You're blonde.
Yeah.
So I'm chugging away at these things.
Right.
This is the fastest I've ever fucking foiled somebody's head. I did it within an hour. And thank God she had short, thin hair.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay. And then she kept moving.
Oh.
I'm like, fucking stop you. And I get the top of her head, and it's just past like the top couple of them.
Right.
I was like, oh, do you mind just putting your head up so I can foil it? Otherwise, I'm like hunched over, and like I can't even see it.
And you're just like dripping all your sweat on her.
Pretty much. So she's like, oh, okay, do you need me?
That sweat on
your nose. She goes, do you need me to sit like this the whole time? Yeah, bitch. Yeah, I do. No, just for like 5 minutes.
That's good. No, you need to grab a good chunk and be like, no, you're fine. And then let you go.
I wanted to. And then I start doing the front, and she's like, oh, I like that. So I do the front at a diagonal. Mm-hmm. Actually, I do all of them at a diagonal, so that way it blends better.
Right.
She's like, oh, I like that you do it in diagonal. I was like, thank you. And then she's like, are you taking enough hair? I don't know. And I'm like, you're going to be very blonde. I've been doing this for enough time that I know what this is going to look like.
Let me do it, and then bitch afterwards.
Right. So she's leaning. She's kind of small, so she can like go to either side. Like it's almost like a kid, how they can have enough room to go either side. So what is this? Oh, just kidding. I thought it was part of that. I was like, huh? Sorry. So she's like leaning on the side that I'm working on, so like she's like right there, so that works in my favor. Right. I turn her around, and she's still on that side. And she's like, oh, I could just fall asleep. I was like, yeah, just keep your head up. Yeah. And she's like,
good, wake up, push over.
So now I'm like,
and she's like, listen, you're like, you got like the very end of the hair.
Yeah. I was like, thank you so fucking much for nothing, for literally not helping one little bit. Okay, so now all the foils are in her head. And I'm like, okay, you just need like a few minutes for the back. I'm going, do you mind if I go like put somebody in the book or whatever? She's like, oh no, honey, take your time. I'm like,
you always know
this much time to take. This much. I've not eaten all day. I've barely been able to sip my water.
I've been pouring water out my body.
I think I maybe drank like 4 sips of my coffee.
In the weather, it was like
I know. I was just like chugging my water at the end of the day. I'm like, I feel like I haven't even like made a dent in my dehydration.
She hasn't peed in 3 days. She's like,
this is all water weight.
Okay, sorry.
That was for you.
That was really funny. And I've always said that.
So it's time to like rinse out the back. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have you lay back. I'm gonna rinse the back. The front needs some time still.
Right.
So in this time, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking eat something because if I don't, I'm going to pass out because now I'm sweating, dehydrated, and starving.
Right. Yeah.
So like I go to the other room. I don't like eating in front of people. It makes me feel
especially
weird.
At work. Right. It's not the time and place.
Right.
They're like, really? You're gonna take a little break? And
Karen does it all the time. Yeah, but it is what it is. So I go sit at the front desk, and I sit at the front desk because I've been standing in that one spot for too long. And I like my food. I didn't even taste it. I don't even think it was good, but it was what it was.
She's like, I think there was hair on it.
Probably.
When you laugh, I've been there. You're like, you gonna wash your hand? I'm like, no, I'm fine. Did you just clean up shit? No, I'm fine.
It is what it is. So now, the first side that I did of the front is ready to come down. Right. So I lean her back and I pull out the foil. She's like, it's the same color as the back, right?
Like, no. That's 3 lighter.
I was like, no, it's actually hot pink, and that's what you wanted, right? I said that to her. This girl cannot take a joke. Oh,
I hate those. I was
like, I'm just kidding. So I'm like, okay, well the other
So you
side
have to
still
take
needs
out a
to.
mirror and show her it's not hot pink.
No, I didn't show her.
Oh, you didn't show her?
No,
Oh,
because
good.
she was leaning back. So I'm not.
I get where you're at. All right, leaning back.
So I was like, okay, this should only be a few minutes. So if you don't mind just like laying back, that'd be
huge help. Yeah.
Right. So I don't have to.
Keep.
So the other side's done, and I wash her out completely, and I set her up, and she goes, I don't see a lot of blonde. I'm like, well, it's wet, so your dark hairs are gonna overpower any of the light powers.
Right.
Colors.
Colors, yeah.
And so I'm cutting, and she's like, I want to short it. She wants like a.
I want all the yellow cut out.
Practically. Fucking practically.
Bro, she didn't. Tell me that.
I should have cut her hair first.
Oh my god,
I'm so glad that you enjoy this.
No.
I know.
I have my own ones. Trust me. I get it.
So she wants like, you know, like the bobs where it's like really short in the back, like stacked in the back, and then like.
Yeah.
So that's what she wants. So I did it a little bit longer at first because I don't want her to be like.
Right, because you can cut it.
I can only tell this lady's like, cut it the right way, you know? So I do it, and then she's like, I make the first cut in the front. She's like, that's a little short. I don't know. Well, we still have the rest, so maybe it'll be fine. I'm like, you said you wanted it at your fucking chin. This is what you're getting.
You're like, this is your chin, right? This is it. Like, see, I can't. See, this is why I wouldn't work working with people.
So then I cut the rest of her hair, and she's like, I think I want it short in the back. I'm like, fine. I wanted to so bad. Just like. So I get it to where she likes it, and like it's drying at this point because it's
right. Because you're playing with it, you're combing it, you're cutting
and it's thin, so it's gonna dry pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Oh, I'm starting to see the blonde. I think maybe it'll be okay. I maybe too dark." I was like, "Well, I told her the whole time, like, if you don't like the color, I think it's going to look very complimentary to the color that you have now.
Right.
If you don't like the color, you can come back another day and we can lighten it again. I just don't want your hair to snap off right now." Because then you won't come back. You know? Which I don't want you to come back, so maybe I should. So I blow dry her, and she's like, "Oh, I love it. This looks really good." I'm like, I fucking told you.
I know, I hate
that. And she's like, and these lights might not be doing it justice. I think it's gonna be okay. Like,
you know what? You need to go in your car and drive all the way home and tell me how it looks at your house.
Yeah. Actually, don't tell me.
Just don't.
I still have to do her pedicure and her manicure.
Oh.
And I have an hour to do both. Pedicure usually takes an hour. Luckily, she wanted like a small pedicure, so it cut off like half the time.
Yeah.
So I do her pedicure, and then I'm doing her manicure, and I'm like, okay, before I paint your nails, do you mind paying so that way you don't mess up your nails?
Right.
She goes, okay. So I bring her car to the other side because I'm not having this bitch walk
all
the way to the other side just to walk all the way back. It's not happening.
Right, no.
Plus, I need to go vent to Karen real quick. I should have charged her more just for being a fucking bitch, but I didn't because I'm too nice.
Yeah.
And I come back, and she's like, oh, no, I went to go total her up. That's what it was.
Yeah,
and then I came back to get her card.
Right.
She's like, I didn't realize how late it was. Maybe I can come back tomorrow and get them painted. And I was like, well, I don't have time tomorrow. And I won't have time for the next couple of weeks. I am booked up.
Today or nothing, lady.
Right. And mind you, my next customer had already come in.
Uh-huh.
And she's just like sitting there. And I guess she had talked to my customer while I was on the other side. She's like, I didn't realize it was already 5:30. I got to get home soon. And I was like, okay, well, like, do you want your nails painted or not? Like, this is your time. I have zero other time. So she's like, okay, well, we'll paint them. And I'm painting so fast. Which, mind you, she wanted red. Red is the worst color to paint because
you can see
everything that you clean up.
Wrong or
it's like, it's terrible. I hate red. Yeah. I love the color red on people. I hate painting red.
Yeah. I know that.
Yeah. So I'm like just trying to go pretty quickly. And I sit her at a different table so that way her nails can dry.
Right.
and I start with my next person. And I guess she had talked to my customer, and she was like, "Oh, what time is it?" And my customer's like, "What?" Because mind you, she's
Oh yeah.
so the whole time I'm like, I don't. I was
What?
like, "What?
Excuse me.
What?
Can I help you?
What'd you say?" Because I had the fucking foils going.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like in my own head.
Right,
There's
right.
like 500 other people in the salon.
Right.
Not really. There's 2 other people, but
Still,
background
the other
noise.
voices, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, sorry. And then she, like my customer's like, what? And she's like, what time is it? And she's like, oh, it's 5:26 or whatever. And that's when she was like, oh, I don't know if I want to get my nails painted today. Too fucking bad. So then she sits at the little nail dryer, and I'm starting to work on my customer. And I'm actually talking to this customer because I like this person. Whereas the other person, I didn't really talk to because if you piss me off in the first 5 minutes, guess what, bitch? I'm done making small talk with you. 4 hours to talk to anybody, that's a long time. 4 hours to talk to somebody that you don't even fucking like?
Yep.
Or no? That's a eternity. I'm not done yet.
Oh, there's more?
There's
Holy
more.
crap.
So she's sitting at the table.
All right. Sorry.
She doesn't even wait 5 minutes. She's like, I think I'm going to get going. I'm like, bye. And I was like, okay, have a nice day. Nice
This
to
is
meet
after
you.
her nails are done.
Yeah.
She's done.
Yeah. Doesn't let them dry. So she probably smudged them on the way home.
Perfect.
And I look at my customer. I'm like, and then as soon as she left, I was like, I just got a bitch 1 second and told her the whole story. And she's like, damn.
She's like, I gotta go.
I'm like, I don't normally bitch to my customers about other customers, but I can't. I need to get this off my chest.
Well, first of all, so I'm gonna ask you if this happens to you and if you're okay with this because I wanted to like pop an eye socket out.
That's why you're always silent during my appointment. Yeah, that's it. I'm glad you finally caught on. Get that?
That's so spot on.
No, I love her.
No, I know.
I don't talk to you because we're usually bitching about somebody else that's also
I know you, bitch. I see you my whole life. So, I'm sitting there, and my dad is out doing his Walmart greeting. He's our Walmart greeter.
Mm-hmm.
And all the pups are in. So, all of a sudden, my dad...
0 o'clock. 7:38. Because I don't have my watch on.
Oh. What did you say it was?
7:38. Yeah.
So, my dad says...
I should keep score. I keep time for us. Keep score.
There's another car in the driveway. I'm like, what do you mean another car? It's like, I did this somebody else. And I'm like, oh, no. Like, and then it gets like, oh, I hope it's not this type of dog. And like, kind of day it is. I'm like, well, if it's this, we can do it. If it's not this, like, it becomes this, like...
People walk in for dogs?
No, they're not supposed to.
That's what I was going to say.
Like, it's all thing, but there's always... So he sits down, and of course,
I can see
automatically, I want to say no. Yeah. For one reason. He comes on the phone. Oh. And he's like, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm at Perry's place. I'm at the Pooch place. I'm at the Pooch. There's Perry here, I guess. He's on the phone, right?
Perry the platypus?
So I'm like sitting there going, okay, maybe he's dropping off for somebody, and the phone is like them telling him.
Yeah.
Right? So my dad, I can hear him say, okay, were you supposed to be here? What's your last name? Like, and he's like, I don't have you here at all. And this is this kind hold on. So he's not even listening to him. He's on the phone. And he's like, hold on. This guy's trying to talk to me.
Why are you in here? If you don't want to be talked to.
I instantly like, nope, no room.
Yeah.
Then he's like, so he's automatically like, why would I be here at 8 o'clock and be here so early if I didn't have an appointment? And I'm like, no. Like it goes
so early.
Like right through me.
Yeah.
Like
he's like, buddy, you know what time I woke up to be
here? Like I'm just sitting there like, I think you'd be a little nicer. Like, hey, what's the problem? Oh, you don't have my appointment? Hold on. First of all, I would have been like, hey, I'm going inside to talk to somebody.
Yeah, I'll call you right back.
So he's like, oh, I'll call you back. He's trying to ask me a question. Hangs up and he's like, and then of course the first answer is like, well, I wouldn't be here so early if I didn't have an appointment.
Yeah.
My daughter made it. And we're like, now, just for everyone to know, it seems like
Did he have the dog with him?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And it is a thing. A lot of people like to make appointments and thinking it was A, but it's B, and all of a sudden we always end up getting B place instead of A place, and then it's like when they just walk through the front door like that, they're like, but we're like,
we always get asked if we have breakfast because next door still has some breakfast up because she was going to do breakfast but didn't end up doing it, but kept the sign up. So like, oh, is the breakfast in here? I'm like, no, the breakfast is getting your haircut.
so we look at it and yeah, we can do it. Like it's a small little Lhasa dog and it's nothing, very simple. So we're like, I'm like, yeah, we can get it done. Like, and so I'm just like, the guy leaves, and I'm just like, you could be a little nicer about that. Like, it's just so rude. Like, it's the arrogance of people. Like, you know what? Just like, have some respect for other people. So, I will tell you the apron story about my dad when.
And then you gotta tell me the bunny thing.
Oh yeah, okay. So I gotta tell you about my dad. What?
You ended up taking them, right? Because they had.
I ended up taking them.
What kind of dog?
But it was a little Lhasa Shih Tzu mix. But it was just his attitude. And then we came back. He was just like, that went back. Like he was all that. Like, buddy, everyone has a cell phone. It's not 1990.
Yeah.
When you had a cell phone in 1990 and you came in talking to somebody when it was like this big, then you were kind of cool. Like, oh, do you have a cell phone?
Yeah.
Everyone's got one.
Yeah.
You talking does nothing for me. Like, you're not special.
Yeah, you're actually really annoying right now.
Right. Like, you're a schmuck compared to the, when that, hey, I'm really important. I have important phone. You have a phone? Whoa. You must be important. Like, no one thinks that way anymore.
Was having a pager cool, too?
Yes.
Was that cooler than having a cell phone?
We didn't have cell phones. That's the trick.
Was a pager
a pager is pre-cell phones.
Okay, sorry.
So you rented or bought a pager, which I never did because
what is a pager? Is it just like a little text thing?
It was like a little square thing.
Yeah. Like
a battery, looking like a square battery, and it hooked onto your pants or your pocket, And then what happened is you would put your number in, or you start learning like little codes. So, for instance, like if you had a girlfriend, you would. No, I'm not gonna remember. It's like I love you. 1, 4, 3. So 1 is the I, the love is the 4 because it's LOVE, and then 3 would be the U. And so if your girlfriend, you would send it, and then you would type those numbers.
Did you only have was it just numbers?
Yeah, it was just numbers.
Oh.
Or you could do the numbers and then flip it over and then it'd make a word.
Boobies.
But that kind of was all the trick, and it would be like 911 if it was emergency. We had all little codes. I know there's certain areas that had different like.
Did you send the codes on the pager?
Yeah. So what happens is you would call on the phone. No, not through the pager. Oh my God! I feel like you're.
I know. I'm so sorry, and I don't want to be that guy.
No.
But I know everything else.
I love it.
This pager thing.
I love it. I do. I love it. I do. I love it because I feel like it's like I'm that old that I have some secret thing.
Yeah.
So what happens is the pager does nothing except get your message. Pager does nothing except beep, and then you press a button and it gives you the number or the number that you typed in. So 1, 3, 4.
Typed on what though? On the phone?
So what happens is I'll take my phone. Okay. So what trick is
you did have to
no. Okay. So you'd be on your house phone.
Okay.
Or a landline or a payphone.
Okay.
And what happens is how they these numbers. I'll just show everybody like the numbers though. 2 ABC. Like those things, right? So that would be on your phone. Like your house phone. So what you would do is you would pick up the phone, you'd call the beeper number, okay, and then it would go beep beep, or sometimes it would say you can leave a message, right? And then you would go 1, 4, 3, and then you could write your number, like 92450, whatever, my phone number. And then what happened was your girlfriend or whomever would go beep 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 beep, and they would look and they would say, I love 1, 4-3, and then it'll have your number, and they go, "Oh, Niles said I love you," and that's it.
Okay.
And they would have to go to a landline and call you back. It was 911, and then you put your number. Then they'd go be like, go to your.
Is that part
landline.
of the phone bill?
No, you did have a bill,
okay.
But it was like it's like a cell phone before a cell phone, because you had a cell phone bill, but it was a rental and then your service.
Okay.
But it didn't do anything except that you instantly got a message. I know there was ones. I'm trying to think what it was. It's been so long, but there was one for a party, and you put certain numbers down, and then you remember, and then you'd run over to that and call and be like, "Hey, there's a party going on. What's going on?" It was our way to kind of keep in touch when you didn't have a cell phone, because there was no cell phones back then.
Yeah. Okay.
You understand?
Yeah. I get it.
And it used to be just for doctors or important people, but then they lowered the price so every kid could get one, and then you would just get. Of course, you got one.
Yeah.
I didn't get one.
I didn't. Did you not want one, or
I didn't want one. I just didn't like.
Just call me at that rate. I feel like there's a lot of extra step.
It was.
I guess because you're out and about.
There was no cell phones.
Yeah.
So when you're out and about and you got your message, and that was your way to say, "Dude, party! Don't want to miss this." And then you had to get to a phone.
Yeah.
To call and be like, "What's going on?" Or sometimes, I know some kids did this, not everyone. You could put the numbers, and then you would sit and be like, "Okay, A." So it's 2A. No, it wouldn't be A. It would be with a B, and they would write out a word. I know people that did that. Way too complicated for me. That was way too complicated. So I was like, never happening.
Yeah.
But I know kids that would give out messages and numbers.
It's cryptic.
Yeah, but it wasn't, because if you know the alphabet starts at 2. So it's A, B, C. So if it's 2, it has to be A, B, or C.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm just saying. And then, I don't know. It's very aggravating.
It's like those puzzles where it's like, you know what I'm saying?
It's just like, I think it was a lot of work. But if it's all we had.
Yeah.
And that was in the, I would say 93, 94, 95, somewhere. Those years. Could have been a year before or a year after, but it's those years. It was right before cell phones were even coming out. And then once kind of cell phones were out, but they were ones you put in your car. So most people why would you have that? Or why would you want to walk around with and you had to connect it to your car.
Yeah.
You couldn't just use it
anywhere.
Yeah. Anywhere. And the ones you could use anywhere were this big.
Yeah.
And no one had the money for that, because those weren't. I know. I remember this. I had a girlfriend at the time that had a pager. And I used to hate doing that, but she'd get so mad at me if I didn't I haven't heard from you all day. Why didn't you? Because I don't know why you don't have a pager. I want to buy you one. I'm like, nope. I'll never.
Pass.
Never. I never wanted to be. I have a hard time with cell phones. I hate.
Yeah, I know.
I just hate. No, I hate the. You need to talk to me. I'll talk to you. But I don't I'm not your beck and call all the time.
Yeah.
There's times that I just
want to shut it down.
I want to be by myself. Sometimes people text me oh, you didn't text me until 2 days later. I'm like, was anything important? It was. It was.
If you're calling me, that's important.
Right? Yeah. Or something I need to talk. That's the only thing that I do that I know a lot of people hate. Be like, why did you call me, Niles? And be like, yeah. What I have to say is a novel, and I don't feel like texting that. So I have to say it, because it's just be 1, 2, 3 done, 10-minute talk, compared to me going. Because I don't do novels unless I truly don't talk to you, and then half the time I try to cut down. What don't I have to say? I don't have to say that.
Yeah.
I know. And then all of a sudden,
you're like, I'll just wait to tell you.
I'd be honest with you. I'd rather talk to you in person than on a phone.
Yeah,
I hate something. We had this one time we had to talk. And it was something that we had to change the time, and I need to talk to you about changing time.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of those. How about Tuesday? How about Thursday? It was okay, we need to figure it out because it's the next. Right. I remember calling you and be like, "Are you okay?" Okay. Yeah, I know.
And then with the COVID stuff, that was
it too.
Yeah.
They're like, "What are you doing? I have COVID. I don't think you."
Yeah.
All right. So my dad he used to wear a particular type of apron.
$7.50.
That's all right.
You're fine.
All right, we gotta go.
No. You can. I love how you can just all in my ball.
So my dad used to have this apron that he used to wear, and he liked it because he zipped up and zipped down, but it had pockets, and most of the aprons he would wear didn't have pockets. But he liked this one, but it had pockets.
Did he get them backwards?
No.
Okay.
So one day he comes downstairs.
So last story of the night. No, he has another one.
I have one more. So he comes downstairs and with a pup, and he puts the pup away. And I gotta say he's in his 40s or 30s, like late 30s, maybe early 40s. So I'm young, and I remember him going, "I think a dog shit. I can smell it." It's so he has us run over there, and we're looking through all the grills, and we can't find anything. And he's like, "No, guys, I smell it really strong. Oh my God, this is horrific. Oh, I can't breathe." We're like going over 4 or 5 times. At lunchtime, he's like, comes downstairs, and he's like, "I got shit in my pockets." I the dog, shit in my pocket. But it was like lunchtime. Like it happened at 8 o'clock, and he kept all day. God, I smell it. I never.
Did you pick a dog up and it just fell in?
It up. It was a little Shih Tzu, and it
was a Shih Tzu
right in his pocket. And I remember laughing so hard, being like, "This is perfect." Okay.
Do you guys all take a lunch break at the same time?
Yes.
Back then?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, most of us sat downstairs in the thing, so the pups were in. I don't want to call it next room because it's really not. It's right there.
Yeah.
So there's someone always there, just in case something. Happens. You know. So we get a customer comes in, and now I'm real young. I'm trying to think how old I am. I got it.
What the hell was that?
I don't know. Shh, don't make me be all freaked out.
I don't think it was a bug.
So just let it go. So it was a bug. Don't even go there.
Last year with the bug?
Yeah, on my shoulder.
Was it a moth?
No, it was a stink bug.
Oh, that's
and you're like, so this lady walks in and says, "My dog has invisible rabbit fleas."
Perfect.
So
why would you bring?
So by the way, we used to have this
fleas,
thing. We used to have this thing where my dad used to like tap his foot on the floor, which would be because we're downstairs, our upstairs, and that we used to turn up the volume so we could hear this, like because we at that time we had we could hear what was upstairs, and I talked to the vet, and this is invisible rabbit fleas my dog has. Do you have something that kills it? And my dad is like, "Excuse me? I don't think I've ever heard. How do you know your dog has fleas if they're invisible?" And he is such a trooper.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you
right now.
Trying to
understand what's going on.
He is such a trooper.
Yeah.
Because he is so straight-faced. Because I know I wouldn't. I'd be like, "What? What are you talking about?" Like, I would be like, "This is the..." And she is like, "I talked to the vet. And they like to hide in my dog's anus." And me and the other workers downstairs at that time, because there was like 3 or 4 of us back then, crying. And
how did she not hear that?
No, we're trying to be like so quiet. Okay. And I'm like in the other. Like I have a towel. I went in the other room. Yeah, I had a towel and I'm biting on it. I'm like, it's hiding in this dog's anus. Like, I hope this lady doesn't want me to go in its anus and look.
Is this the same customer asking about the anal sex? I mean, the anal sex.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm glad you remember that, Asher. So, all right. So my dad spends almost 15 minutes with this lady. Okay, we're
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Way too long.
Way too long. But every time he digs into something, it goes like
a different direction,
a whole nother direction. And the fact that they're invisible
in his ass,
and in his ass, is because they're so fast when they go in his ass.
I just said,
and we're looking at each other like, so fast. And we're like, whoa, whoa,
oh, you almost had it. Got me quicker than that.
And then we're downstairs going, do you think he, like, clenches right before it goes in, or he relaxes? And you know.
Can
like,
he feel them?
I was nonstop. So, my dad says to the lady, can I ask who's your vet? And of course, he lands up saying Dr. Kenfield, which my mom worked for as an accountant.
He's the main guy. Actually, he retired.
Yeah, I know,
but he was like the main guy.
This is 90.
Yeah.
4-ish.
Yeah. He only retired within the past couple of years.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying this is years ago. Like we're.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I have to be 17, 18. Like I'm still a kid. And,
so did he call this vet?
And so my mom goes to work that day and says, "Hey, Mike." Now we know him personally. Yeah. We've known him for years, right? So
did she do accounting for him?
Yeah. So she's at work, her work in accounting. Hey, Mike, did you tell a lady about invisible rabbit fleas that run so fast you don't see them and it goes up the anus?
He told her that so she'd stop bringing the dog in.
So he says, no, I said that your dog can get fleas from rabbits, and sometimes you can't see them because they hide in the head area, the groin, the rear end, like towards your the dog's anus. Like
your anus.
Like he was going through everything. And she heard
she compacted
invisible rabbit fleas that hide, and that they move, and fleas do move fast, right? That sometimes when you're going through the hair, you got to get to like sometimes what we call flea mess, which is that like hard. Actually, it's if you take water and you put water on it, it's blood. It's dried up blood. They poop out solid blood from the dog. But that's how sometimes you can see it has fleas from like the flea mess. Yeah. And this lady was convinced and wouldn't let it go. So my mom is in tears, calling my dad. My mom's on speaker. We're laughing in the shop, and I'm like, "Good luck."
Was this lady still there?
No, because she left the dog. Because my dad said, "Well, whatever it is, we can handle all fleas because of the dip we used years ago. Like it killed like lice. It killed everything. Like
okay, so you did still take dogs that had fleas?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh my god.
Because we won't take a customer that has lice. Because that's just a liability on everybody else.
No, we have all.
I'll tell you what to do, but I am not taking you until you're lice free.
But no, for us, it's way. And so, I just remember thinking to myself, we were laughing so hard at that, and I got one other dog story. So this is important. Listen, this is important. We have time? It's real quick.
59. Though. Yep.
Okay, ready for this?
I like how you took my hair elastic.
Here we go. I know you're gonna play with it. That's why.
So you get to play with it, you fucking bitch.
So we had a girl work for the very first time, like first day of work, and her name was Lily, and she stayed.
Just name dropping.
Yeah, I am dropping. She's amazing. And my mom. Oh no, I'm a kid.
Okay.
I'm I'm in middle school. I'm in middle school.
There.
So
she waited for you.
She had me at no. So my mom is downstairs with her because it's the first time, and it's just them two. My dad and and Lily, and my mom is trying to kind of show her the ropes. And I am homesick.
I'm sure that's going so well.
No,
I love your mom, but I feel
no.
She was good?
No.
Okay.
This is the worst day ever.
Okay. You're homesick.
So my dad, a customer comes in, and they had already started. They came in later than they were supposed to. He goes upstairs. He tells my mom, "Hey, can you just watch this Old English? Lily, use this, Lil, use the here, And so my mom starts showing Lil how to brush out Old Englishes and starts showing her the ropes. All of a sudden, my mom is screaming, and my dad is yelling for me to come and help. Because I'm not feeling good, but I'm home, and I'm just kind of, we go running down to the shop, and there's this Old English spinning on the table. Because hydraulic table, so it's solid. So it's before you think it's like a rickety old table, it's like this solid table, right? Spinning, shitting pure water, just going around and around over everything. And my mom and Lil are under the table because this dog just won't stop, and it is just spraying like a hose to a point that I'm I come down and I run backwards because I'm like, oh my God, no one knows what to do. We're just frozen. Yeah. And the dog, for a good 3 minutes,
a little shitstorm.
Yes, for 3 minutes, it's just unloading.
Jesus Christ.
I have never seen this, ever. To this day, still never seen this. My dad is we're all this dog's sick, this dog has a problem, this dog has, we all start doing something's wrong, this dog needs to get out of here, right? Because we're all afraid of the worst. That type of shitting. My dad calls the customer. She felt bad.
Oh, I think you told me
for the dog to be groomed.
But she fed him too much, right?
She fed him 4 pounds of bacon and bacon grease, the whole thing. That's why when we tell you guys you shouldn't feed your dog before you bring them, it's not because we're trying to starve your dog or try to be mean. I had one lady told me once, she goes, my dog will die if he doesn't eat. And I'm like, you do know when you go to the vet and he goes for a surgery, you can't eat the night before. They don't die.
They're good.
They're good. I mean, I'm not saying go 3 days without feeding them.
Right.
Just when they get home, you feed them. It's not even 24 hours. Just don't feed them that night. Don't feed them in the morning. Because some people like to give 2 feedings. Do it. Don't do those 2. Do the one in the afternoon. The night or whatever. Oh my God, it was such a mess. Oh my God, we had to repaint the whole shop.
Yeah. No, well, I think the dog did.
No, we actually had to after we were done cleaning, it was so stained that we had to repaint everything. We were closed for a week to clean. And to just that one room, it was so gross. We had to buy new boards. We had to buy because the grease stained and the stomach acid was so bad.
Did it smell terrible?
Oh, I must have threw up 3 times. It was one
as
of those,
if you weren't sick enough.
It was just so gross. Yeah. It was so much. It just I just couldn't stop puking. I was just and I remember, and I was a kid. I'm in middle school, so I'm not, I don't know how to explain it. You're in a
was that your mom's last day working?
No, she wasn't working. She was actually just helping.
Right, that was her last time helping. Did Lily ever come back?
Yeah, she did. Let me just tell you, you'd be amazed. I have more beginner stories at the shop that you would say, they'll never come back. And you'll be like, I got more. I got the craziest ones that you just go, what? I can't tell you how many things that I've seen or has happened or you just go, is this happening right now? Is this happening? This can't be happening. It's just crazy. And of course, pets are always a different. And years ago, it was much different. People were a little more laid back. They are now. Now I'm always afraid because things are so much different now.
Yeah.
Like years ago, a lot of people were like, their dog was their dog. I love him like a part of the family, but still a dog. And then nowadays, people are like, that's my dog. You're like, just like, oh, okay, you drop off your pup, go.
Yeah.
It's like a little kid. People don't understand it. Do you understand what you do with your dog? Do you know what you do with your animals? Don't you, when you see your animals, pet them? Like, hey, when you come home, don't you pet your animals? When you drop them off somewhere and you're petting them, what do they want to do? Go with you.
Right.
They don't want to come with me. I'm a stranger. But I can't tell you how many people are like, oh. It's like first day of school for kids. Like, Mom, go. They'll be fine. Just, you're making it
I think
worse.
I cried like every day going to school. In preschool.
I remember Marin. We dropped her off on the first day of school, and Jaylee's like, take a picture. I'm like, Jaylee, she got to go to school. Like, it's time. Like, I was like, bye. She's like, bye.
She would.
Yeah, she was like, bye.
I've been with you 5 years. All done.
Oh, yeah. Jaylee, like, she was done. She was like, Marin was like, I'm out.
Did she do preschool?
Huh?
Did she do preschool?
No. Which was, like, the biggest disaster in my life. Because, again, I was brought up much different. I was stuck in them. And I always say I'm stuck in the 90s. I know. But I taught Marin, like, 1 through 10, ABCs, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, she needs to count to 1,000. And she needs...
They expect so much from kindergartners now.
Whoa. I'm like, well, my kid's not that smart. Like, I didn't know. She didn't do 3 years of preschool. I was like, nope, we can't afford that. So we've been, I taught her 1 through 10, some ABCs. She can't write her name in cursive. And, I'm like, what? Like, she's like,
they expect a lot.
They do.
Like,
no, it's not to 1,000. It's to 100.
No, but they're like doing math.
They're doing
math right now.
Right,
I'm like, what are you doing?
I
learned math in 3rd grade, and I can tell you that.
I know. I just sit there and I just look at him like.
You're smarter than I am right now.
Let me just tell you, and I know I know Ashley's going to be like, shut up.
Yeah. I
can't with teachers now. Because Marin, we had to go in and sit with Marin because they said she had what is it, ADHD? What is it?
ADHD.
Yeah. Because I said to her, why do you think my daughter has it? Because she doesn't sit in her seat. And I said, oh, how many times do you need to tell her? I don't. She's in 1st grade. She doesn't know to sit in a seat. I'm like, do you know when I walked in this room, I didn't know I was supposed to sit until you told me to? Like, you don't know until you tell. You're supposed to say, sit your ass down. And if she doesn't listen, you're supposed to punish her by giving her slip, send her to the principal. And if she gets punished enough and she's still not listening, you're supposed to tell me, and I'm supposed to ground her or whoop that little butt to make sure she does a good job. Like, you just can't say she has some deformed thing. And she's like, and they're like, no, she needs to be on medication. I'm like, no, it's not happening.
Okay, that's kind of rude. I'm being dead serious. That she needs to be on stuff.
No, but the LD teacher, the director of LD was like saying to me, she needs to be on medication. There's nothing wrong with it. Her son on it. And I'm like, my kid can show a dog and stand perfectly still in the ring. There's no way.
I understand the concern.
Right.
And I like that they did bring it to your attention. But if they're not going to address any of it,
you do know the intention was the psychiatrist and everyone in the room sitting down at a big table saying, my kid's broken. And I said, so how many times did you tell her to sit down? Everyone just looked at me like, I don't know. And the 1st grade teacher said, I don't tell them. They're supposed to just know. I'm like, no. That's not how it works. Every single kid gets away. I'm like, I don't know about you, but I got it through 1st grade by telling my teacher she had beautiful eyes and throwing away my homework. She's like, what? And I was like, yeah, I conned my way through 1st grade. Because I was like, oh, Mrs. Holt, I must have left it on your desk. You got the most beautiful eyes. I'm sure I left it. Or I do half the homework and then, do 3 pages and be like, oh, you're missing something. And be like, must have got lost on your desk. Because she used to have kind of not a messy
Well, no, you
desk.
can't say that anymore because everything's on the fucking computer.
Well, yeah, but okay, I graduated in 94, so what year
I'm
is
saying now,
like
nowadays kids can't get away with that.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at them like, come on. Kids are kids. They're going to get away with stuff. Yeah, but she was retiring, so she didn't want to really, and I was like, oh, so you don't want to do this anymore. She goes, well, I'm retiring this year. And I'm like, so that's why you're not telling them anything, because you don't want to do this anymore. And she's like, excuse me, you're being rude. And I'm like, no, this is rude. Just tell my kid. I
So-
said, I'll tell her. Don't worry. She'll sit her ass from now on. Well, we don't want that. Don't be doing that, Mr. Psychiatrist. Like, we might. I'm like,
Mr. Canero.
yeah, no. I'm like, it was at Elmhurst. I'm not Elmhurst. Hathaway.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
Listen, I get my kid was a little
It's a
something.
little special.
Yeah, but not like that.
Yeah.
Come on now. I fought for her too. We had horrible.
Well, as you should. You should.
I
fight
went
for
in
your kids.
3 different times.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, how is she now? Oh no, she's being perfect now. I'm like, she's
Weird.
on medication. They fired the LDT, not me.
Yeah.
Nothing to do, but they fired her, and I was like, gee, I wonder where everyone's going.
Weird. It's freezing in here now. I'm like,
she's
time to go.
time. All right.
bye.
Bit tit net later. Bye, guys.